What's going on, geeks? My name is Cody Armour, and it is Friday, so it's time to catch you up on what's happening this week in the world of geek. Quick heads up though, we will not be having a video next Friday because it is Good Friday. I will not be around. But let's get into it. Probably some of the most exciting gaming news for console gamers. When the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, I went with the PS4 basically because it was cheaper and because the specs were a little bit higher, but not by much. And I plan on buying both at some point, but I'm kind of glad it never happened because Project Scorpio specs have been revealed, and they are beautiful. So let's start with the stuff that everyone will actually understand. This console is capable of running 60 frames per second at 4K natively. And when I say native, I mean that it is possible for games to be played in 4K and not just 1080 kind of up-resed. Something else kind of cool to bring up here, though I don't know how true it is, we'll have to see. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, the 1080 image is going to be crisper than what you were getting off of the Xbox One. Which makes sense, but I don't know if it's going to be so amazing that you should get the Scorpion over the One just because of that. I do not have a 4K TV, but my television does have a very high refresh rate, so just the 60 frames per second excites me because those show very beautifully on my television. And then getting into the memory a little bit, we have a 1 terabyte hard drive, so awesome. And then I think this is kind of cool. The Scorpion is going to be using the same type of RAM that is used in the PlayStation 4, but the PlayStation 4 has 8 gigs. This is going to have 12. And the GPU in this thing is 4.6 times as powerful as the Xbox One. According to Microsoft, all games, whether they're patched or not, are going to look better on the Scorpion, and they're obviously going to have faster load times. And so I think that needs to be stressed, that there are no plans for Xbox Scorpio exclusive games. It has the capabilities for 4K and 60 frames per second, but how many game developers are actually going to give it that? That's just something we're going to have to kind of wait and see. And then moving on in some gaming news, CD Projekt Red is making headlines. They're the ones that made The Witcher. They're also the ones who are making CyberPunk 2077. And they are definitely getting some heat because they have decided they are going to trademark the word cyberpunk, which is very interesting because like Ghost in the Shell, very cyberpunk, Damascus Apparel, cyberpunk, Blade Runner, cyberpunk. Like, I know cyberpunk is a smaller genre, but could you imagine if steampunk were to be trademarked? Now, I don't think they're ever going to say that you can't describe something as cyberpunk. According to them, they're not planning to use it offensively, which is good. I think it's more for the sake that someone else doesn't make a video game or a movie called Cyberpunk and then tagline, and they're like, wait a minute, that is our game name. It's a defense to make sure that no one makes a game where they think it's associated with this one. And then in gaming / movie news that I do not think we need, Call of Duty is going to be made into a movie, and not just a movie, but a whole cinematic universe. And according to the co-presidents of the studio, it seems like they're going to section these out by operation teams. Meaning you'll have like covert operations, you'll have normal military, different teams like that, and then they'll probably come together for one big movie. I will say this, I'm not overly excited about it, but I do respect their ambition. To see movie adaptations of video games fall flat over and over and then be like, yeah, we're gonna make a whole universe, is very gutsy. So hopefully it's good. I don't know. What I love about video game adapted movies are that they're very abstract. You got a lot going. Like Assassin's Creed is a very unique story, but Call of Duty is somewhat realistic. How do they differentiate themselves from other military movies? And talking about movie adaptations, Dungeons and Dragons is getting another go. The script is actually being written by Joe Manganiello, who's going to be Deathstroke in Justice League. Dungeons and Dragons has had a lot of adaptations in the past. None of them have done really all that amazing, except maybe the cartoon in the 80s. But I do really think it could be done well. Peter Jackson, if he were to direct it, I'm pretty positive it'd be amazing then. I am optimistic that it is being written by a fan. Joe Manganiello is a fan of Dungeons & Dragons. And so like Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool came out really well because he fought to make it happen. Maybe this will be a similar situation. And then we need to talk a little bit about the Ghost in the Shell movie because it is not doing well. It's doing so badly that it may have a $60 million loss. A lot of people are saying that it's because of the whitewashing. And I definitely think that is part of the reason. A lot of the people that I've talked to have brought up the whitewashing. They just don't think Scarlett Johansson could play Major very well. I personally found the movie to be fantastic. It's one of the best adaptations of anything I've ever seen. There are scenes from the anime just completely translated into live action. It's beautiful. And to say that it's whitewashed, I just don't feel like it's completely accurate, and you have to watch the movie to kind of get that. Her boss is not only Asian, but he has the exact same hair that he had in the anime. It's amazing. And I know the studio is blaming the whitewashing as well. They're saying that, you know, people freaking out about that. That's why the movie's not doing well. It's also an anime film. Not that many people know what Ghost in the Shell is. And before Ghost in the Shell came out, Logan, Kong, Beauty and the Beast, and Power Rangers all in the same month. And to me, that seems to be more of the case, is that it just had terrible timing. And it's really too bad because I really liked it and I was hoping for more, but that's definitely not going to happen now. And then going on to some TV news. First of all, in Doctor Who news, John Sim is actually going to be returning as the Master, which is super confusing, but it's Doctor Who, so of course it is. John Sim played the Master back when David Tennant was the Doctor, for those who don't know. So I'm very excited to see his adaptation, but I am kind of sad to see Michelle Gomez go, or maybe she won't, who knows. I really liked her version. Who knows how this is all going to play out, though. And then final story of the day, probably one of the most exciting things for people my age. There is an Invader Zim movie coming to Nickelodeon, straight to TV, but yes, please. It is just in pre-production right now, but hopefully we'll be getting it very soon. Invader Zim is amazing. Same creator, same voice actors, so this should be a lot of fun. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff today, so please leave a comment about anything that piqued your interest. I am curious what you guys have to say about the Scorpio, but the question of the day is going to be, what needs a movie adaptation, whether it be video game, anime, a book? I want to know what you guys have to say, so please comment in the comment section down below with your answer. Pretty sure I've asked this before. My go-to is always Metroid. I think Metroid just needs a movie. So that's my go-to, but I want to know what you guys have to say. So down below. As always, please check out geeksundergrace.com for more geeky content. My name's Cody Armour, and this is a show we do every Friday. Lets you stay up to date on what's happening this week in the world of geek. We'll see you later. God bless.